Ever wonder why some people walk into a room and immediately command respect? They don't have to beg for attention. They don't have to raise their voice. They don't even have to explain themselves. People just listen. Meanwhile, others struggle to be heard. They get interrupted, overlooked, dismissed. Their time is wasted, their words ignored, and their presence undervalued. What separates the two? Is it money? No. Status? No. Superior intelligence? Wrong again. The truth is simple, but it's going to sting. The difference between people who command respect and those who get walked over is not luck, talent, or charm. It's psychology. Specifically, one psychological principle that most people were never taught. A principle that Machiavelli himself revealed over 500 years ago. And once you understand it, you'll stop begging for approval and start commanding respect automatically. By the end of this, you'll know exactly why people have disrespected you in the past, and more importantly, how to make sure it never happens again. Section 1. The hidden weakness of being liked. Let me ask you a hard question. How many times have you bitten your tongue when you should have spoken up? Someone cut in front of you in line. You said nothing. A friend canceled plans for the third time. You just smiled. A coworker took credit for your idea. You let it slide. You thought you were being nice. You thought you were avoiding conflict, but in reality, you were training people to walk all over you. Here's the ugly truth. Every single person who disrespected you, dismissed you, or treated you like you didn't matter, knew one thing about you. They knew you needed their approval more than they needed yours. And when people sense that, it's game over. Why? Because desperation has a smell. And you can smell it from a mile away. When your number one priority is to be liked, you become predictable. People know you'll agree, even when they're wrong. They know you'll show up, even when they waste your time. They know you'll smile, even when they insult you. And once you're predictable, you're disposable. Think about the people you respect the most. Are they the ones constantly begging for your approval? Or are they the ones who seem perfectly fine without it? Respect flows to the person who doesn't need it. Approval flows to the person who doesn't care about it. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." And no, he wasn't telling you to be a dictator. He was pointing out a psychological law. People respect consequences, not kindness. They respect boundaries, not begging. When you're desperate to be liked, you lose value. When you're willing to risk being disliked, you gain power. Drop this affirmation right now. Respect over approval. Section 2. The dark power of respect. Now that you understand the weakness of chasing approval, let's talk about the flip side. Respect. Real respect is not about impressing people with your success, your intelligence, or your charm. That's admiration. Admiration fades. Respect comes from one thing only: consequences. When people know that crossing you comes with a cost, they think twice. When they know disrespect is expensive, they stop handing it out so freely. But when people know that disrespecting you is free, that they can cancel on you, interrupt you, use you, or mock you with no pushback, guess what? They'll keep doing it. Respect doesn't come from being nice. It doesn't come from being impressive. It comes from showing people that your time, your attention, your energy, all of it has value. Look back on the toughest teacher you ever had, the strictest boss, the friend who always told you the truth, even when it hurt. Did you like them in every moment? Maybe not, but did you respect them? Absolutely. That's the power of boundaries. That's the power of consequence. When someone disrespects you and you immediately remove access to yourself, your help, your time, your energy, they learn fast. And they don't make the same mistake again. This is why the nicest people often get treated the worst. They've trained everyone around them that disrespect has no cost. That bad behavior will always be forgiven. That no matter what, they'll still be available. And once you're safe to disrespect, respect becomes impossible. So the next time someone tests your boundaries, don't lecture them. Don't explain why respect matters. Just enforce the consequence. Drop this affirmation: I choose power. Section 3. The psychology of control. Here's something you need to know. Every single interaction you have is about control. Who's in control of the conversation? Who's in control of the relationship? Who's in control of the outcome? And here's the kicker. If you don't know who's in control, it's not you. Approval seekers hand over control without realizing it. Every time you change your behavior to keep someone happy, you've given them control over your actions. Every time you say yes when you wanted to say no, you've given them control over your choices. Every time you bite your tongue to avoid conflict, you've given them control over your voice. That's not kindness. That's slavery with extra steps. People who don't need approval, they stay in control. They speak their mind regardless of reactions. They make choices based on their values, not on someone else's demands. They set the terms of every interaction. And that's why approval addiction is so dangerous. It's not just about feeling good or bad. It's about who gets to decide what happens in your life. When you need other people's approval, you've handed them the remote control to your emotions. They can push a button and make you feel guilty. Push another and make you feel ashamed. Push another and make you feel anxious. But when you cut the cord, when you stop needing approval, suddenly nobody can push your buttons. You become unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. Drop this affirmation: I control my worth. Section 4. Approval as an addiction. Now let's go deeper, because this part will blow your mind. Your need for approval isn't just a personality trait, it's an addiction. Think about it. Someone compliments you, likes your post, tells you you're great. What happens? Your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical released when people take drugs. You get a high. It feels good. But just like drugs, the high wears off, and then you need another hit, and another, and another. Meanwhile, the people around you notice. They realize a tiny dose of approval can get you to do almost anything. Want you to stay late at work. They praise your work ethic, want you to lend them money. They call you generous, want you to ignore their bad behavior. They flatter you for being understanding. They're literally using your brain chemistry against you. And the worst part, you're letting them. This is why approval addicts are the easiest to control. They'll bend over backwards just for scraps of validation. They'll wear masks, hide their real opinions, and twist themselves into whatever shape gets them liked. Meanwhile, people who don't need approval, they're untouchable. You can't manipulate them with compliments if they don't crave compliments. You can't control them with acceptance if they don't need acceptance. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop chasing validation, people actually respect and like you more. Why? Because authenticity is magnetic. When you're the same person in every room, people trust you. When you're not afraid of being disliked, people admire you. Breaking free from approval addiction isn't easy. Your brain will fight you. It'll tell you you'll be rejected. It'll make you feel guilty. It'll try to drag you back. But that's the test. That's the discipline. You must be willing to be disliked, misunderstood, and criticized. You must value your own opinion more than everyone else's combined. Drop this affirmation: my validation comes from within. Section 5. Machiavellian rules to command respect. Now, we get practical. It's time to talk about the rules, the principles that separate people who get walked over from those who command respect without ever raising their voice. These are timeless, they've worked for centuries, and they'll work for you. Rule 1: speak less, act more. Most people talk too much and act too little. They explain themselves endlessly. They justify every decision. They beg for understanding. But here's the truth. Explanations weaken you. Respected people do the opposite. They don't waste energy convincing. They let their actions prove their words. They don't explain decisions to people who wouldn't make better ones. They don't defend boundaries to people who don't respect them. When someone disrespects you, don't launch into a lecture. Don't explain why respect matters. Just enforce the consequence. Silence plus action is stronger than 1,000 explanations. Remember what Machiavelli said: the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. Be strategic like the fox. Be powerful like the lion. But never be the chatterbox begging to be understood. Rule 2. Never chase approval. This one will test you. No matter how much you want someone's approval, don't chase it. Don't double text them if they don't respond. Don't bend over backward if they're cold. Don't beg for clarity when they give you silence. Chasing approval screams desperation, and desperation kills respect. Instead, be indifferent. If they like you, great. If they don't, fine. That indifference is magnetic. It makes people wonder, why don't they need my approval? And that wonder makes them respect you. Rule 3. Stay cold and calm under attack. Here's where most people fail. Someone insults them, mocks them, or pushes their buttons, and they explode. They get emotional, defensive, angry, and in that moment, they've proven they can be controlled. The person attacking you now owns your emotions. That's power. But if you stay calm, cold, and unbothered, you win. When you laugh at their attempt, when you show indifference, when you stay composed, you prove you're psychologically bulletproof. And that terrifies manipulators. Control your emotions, and you control the battlefield. Rule 4. Stay unpredictable. Predictability is weakness. When people know exactly how you'll react, they can control you. They can set you up, push your buttons, and exploit your patterns. Unpredictable people, they're powerful. Sometimes they give. Sometimes they withhold. Sometimes they help. Sometimes they walk away. Nobody knows what they'll do, and that uncertainty forces respect. Machiavelli warned, since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. Don't be predictably nice. Don't be predictably cruel. Be strategically unpredictable. Rule 5. Enforce boundaries swiftly and silently. Here's the secret to boundaries. Speed matters more than severity. When someone crosses the line, don't hesitate. Don't give them 3 warnings. Don't explain why they're wrong. Enforce the consequence immediately. People don't learn from speeches. They learn from results. And silence is your ally. When you simply cut off access, remove privileges, or walk away without drama, without debate, people understand you mean business. Boundaries only work when they're non-negotiable. Drop this affirmation: I am unmovable. Section 6. Scarcity and distance as power multipliers. Here's a rule that flips everything upside down. Scarcity creates value. Abundance kills it. People pleasers think availability equals love. They say yes to every request. They show up to every invitation. They respond instantly to every message. They make themselves endlessly accessible. And what happens? They become background noise. Taken for granted, overlooked, forgotten. But when your time is scarce, when your attention is rare, when your energy is limited, suddenly people value it. They treat it like gold. Think about it. Diamonds are valuable because they're rare. Your time works the same way. That's why the most respected people aren't the ones who are always around. They're the ones who appear selectively, who say no without guilt, who give their presence as a gift, not as a guarantee. Distance multiplies respect. Detachment creates curiosity. Scarcity creates power. So stop being everywhere for everyone. Be selective. Make your presence mean something. Section 7. The transformation. What happens when you stop chasing approval? Now let's imagine what your life looks like when you actually live by these principles. First, your relationships change. Some people will vanish. They only valued you because you were easy to control. Let them go. The people who remain will be the ones who respect the real you, not the mask you wore for approval. Second, your confidence skyrockets. You no longer second-guess yourself. You no longer seek permission. You no longer need anyone to clap for you in order to feel worthy. Third, opportunities come to you. People seek your opinion because you're authentic, not agreeable. Employers value you because you don't just accept scraps. Friends respect you because you speak the truth, not what's convenient. Fourth, your stress evaporates. No more walking on eggshells. No more constant worry about who likes you. Life becomes simpler, clearer, freer. And that's the real prize. Psychological freedom. Freedom from the endless cycle of chasing approval and fearing disapproval. Freedom to be authentically, unapologetically yourself. Section 8. Practical steps to start today. Now you might be wondering, okay, but where do I start? Start small. In your very next interaction, test one of these. Say no without explanation. Pause before responding to a text. Correct someone calmly when they disrespect you. Walk away silently when someone crosses a line. Don't announce the new you. Don't give speeches about boundaries. Just live them. People will notice, and they'll adjust. Remember, respect is not demanded. It's commanded by how you carry yourself, how you enforce your value, and how little you depend on others' approval. Section 9. Conclusion. Respect is your birthright. Let's bring it all together. Stop chasing approval. It's a trap. Understand that respect comes from consequences, not kindness. Control your emotions and your boundaries. Stay unpredictable. Value your time by making it scarce. Machiavelli once said, "It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles." Your worth doesn't come from how many people like you. It comes from how you respect yourself, and how you refuse to accept anything less from others. So ask yourself, are you going to keep being the person who begs for approval? Or will you step into the version of yourself who commands respect? Because once you do, everything in your life transforms: your confidence, your relationships, your opportunities, your peace of mind. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. Respect is my birthright. Final call to action. If this script opened your eyes, don't just walk away the same. Apply it, live it, and watch your entire world shift. And if you want more raw, unfiltered truths like this, the kind that cut through the noise and actually change your life, then do one thing right now. Subscribe to this channel, because in a world full of people begging to be liked, the ones who understand respect are the ones who hold all the cards. Be that person.